cars, and on occasion we'll see their children.
Hey, what's going on? Miguel Lloyd, host of Life Full Circle Radio. What's going on? So it's, what's today? March the 10th. You know, we're not supposed to get a dates when we do this because people watch whatever they want, but who cares? We haven't had a show since the State of the Union. I guess, I don't know if that was technically a State of the Union, because that means we got to have another damn speech. Joint Congress. Is that State of the Union? Is the State of the Union usually later? Anyway. All right, we're going to talk about what Trump did, and Jasmine Crow is her name, I think. Well, it's not Crow. Crockett. Jasmine Crockett. I know Jasmine Crow, local Atlanta entrepreneur. Jasmine Crockett, she's out here dancing in these TikTok streets, and Al Green, not the singer Al Green, but the Congressman Al Green, he gets kicked out of the joint sessions. We'll talk about that. LeBron has had enough of Stephen A. Smith, and of course, everybody named Mama want to come up here and cop a plea for Stephen A. Smith, which I don't get. It is what it is. What else we gonna talk about? I don't know. Super producer, get me straight here in a minute. Follow us on all the socials. You see us here. We're right now live on YouTube. We're on Facebook, which is soon Facebook. We have to have that conversation. Facebook about to switch up. They move. So we definitely gonna be focusing on YouTube. Super producer.
How do you spell mediocre?
MEDIOCRE. Mediocre.
Gotcha. Let me just finish this post real quick. Crybaby LeBron over mediocre Nepo
Here we
Baby.
go.
Here we go. And paste.
Here we go. All right.
And
so
share. I'm good to go now.
You're good to go now? Now you see where we're going to start pretty early in this. Why am I not remembering Discord? I was like, dadgummit, what is the platform that I need to share? It's Discord, because I'm never there. I got to learn how to be on Discord more.
We're old, y'all. We out here forgetting platforms and saying dadgummit. It's a really sad time for Life Full Circle Radio.
Man, I there was a time, what I mean, we used to always watch our mouth in this show and everything. And so I'm going back to them days as much as I can. So dadgummit is what I'm going with until I get
until something makes them mad enough, like this LeBron conversation is about to make them, and then it's going to be curse words flying like a sailor at sea.
Oh my God. So anyway, all right, let's get going. So interesting week. I think it was last Tuesday. The show was last Monday, of course, and we got to hear Trump go before the world and tell a bunch of effing lies and ridiculousness. I ain't even 30 seconds in, I almost let one slip.
It's Trump and Stephen A. Smith that always get you.
Stephen A. Smith, I usually ignore Stephen A. Smith, but he got on my nerves this week with this whole situation.
No, not Stephen A. Smith. That's not who gets you. Who's the fat black guy from Fox that got fired? And now he's
Whitlock. We don't talk about him much. Yeah. Dumpy Doodle. We don't talk about Dumpy Doodle too much. It's no need. But no, you go ahead and jump in. I got a couple of shares I need to do. I'm gonna let you kick it off. Go ahead.
Let's go ahead and you can go ahead and share my screen. We can go ahead and get started. So everybody keeps confusing Trump's.
Hey, hold on. Kia got a new toy. Hold on. Kia got a new toy. She can share a screen now. I can be doing something else while she's sharing screen.
Are you talking about my new wig? Sorry. Yes.
No, I'm not talking about your daggum wig. Go ahead.
Yeah. Looks natural, right?
It actually
so
does.
Everybody keeps confusing the Trump speech. Everybody thought it was a State of the Union. I thought it was a State of the Union. People hashtagging State of the Union. It was actually him speaking in front of a joint session of Congress. What's the difference between these two things? I'm not 100% sure. Either way, he spoke for an hour and 40 minutes. This is the longest speech at a joint session of Congress, or probably a State of the Union that has happened in the last 61 years, at an hour and 40 minutes. But keep in mind, this is what he does. He gets up and thinks he's, performing. He's on stage. Let me just talk. They clap. They cheer. I get my little adoration tank filled up, and it's amazing. So there were.
But the whole thing about it is that, it's not the State of the Union. It's another opportunity for us to have to worry about hearing from that clown, because he's still going to do a State of the Union. Absolutely.
And let me tell you, I'm probably me and Miguel are probably some of the most neutral people you'll ever meet when it comes to politics. This was a dumpster fire on both sides. It was just, I was embarrassed for everybody in the room. I was embarrassed for Trump because he did say a lot of lies. He did. And people, if you don't want to admit it, that's fine. That's your business. But he did. The Republicans were clapping and cheering like they were at some weird rock concert. And the Democrats just couldn't be mature. All they had to do was be mature and grown up.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
And nobody could do it.
What does that mean? What is maturity in your eyes that the Democrats should have done?
The color coding matching thing, I think, is stupid. I really do.
What?
The women all wearing pink, that's stupid. I wouldn't have done it if I was a Democratic senator. I'd have been like, that's cool. I'll take y'all picture in the front before we go in, but I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. What do
you believe that the Democrats are supposed to do in this day and age right now? What sort of protest? Because they obviously have to protest right now. They have to.
They need to be better than them. That's their only
Why?
job.
They've been better than them and losing elections. Why?
But they haven't been better than them. In the past 4 years, in the past year since Trump has ran, and then while Trump was running the first time, they weren't better than them. Everybody decided, we go low, they go low, we going straight to HE double hockey stick. We all going low. Let's do this. Let's get down to the get down. And now it's only getting worse. All the Democrats had to do, they didn't have to stand and clap. Y'all could have sat and clapped. Y'all didn't need to come up with the matching outfits. Senator Al Green didn't need to have a full-on meltdown. Why are you having a meltdown at 70, 75, 80 years old? You're about to be dead anyway. What's about to happen really has no effect on you in the first place. Why are you acting like this?
I don't understand. What America have you been watching for the last 10 years?
As women of color, you all getting down with that, I almost something so bad, with that, I'm not going to say it, that, how do I say this without using the words? I can't.
Dead air is bad on radio, so
sorry.
Get it out.
With that CUM guzzler Lauren Brotbart and that dumb bad built Barbie.
You think because you spelt it? That makes it better?
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Why are we getting down low with these gutter snipes? Why?
At this point, all this being and here's the thing. I hate it. That's where we are right now, right? I do absolutely despise it. That's where we are. But these people don't give, that was a complete 2-hour troll session last week. It was a troll session. He got up there and talked about a 300-year-old person getting Social Security. You are a damn lie. Ain't no 300-year-old person getting no dog on Social Security.
Well, let's get into it. Go ahead and share my screen. We can get into it. We have a whole list, and we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but we're going to spend at least 15 minutes because it was a lot of stuff. So Trump on Greenland, we're going to get it one way or another. Mr. Trump, who has suggested using military force or coercion to gain control of Greenland, had a message for Denmark, the Denmark-owned territory. I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future, and if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. Greenland does not want to be a part of the United States. They don't. Right. They've never mentioned this. They don't want this. Denmark's like, what are you talking about? What's happening now?
But you do know that white folks are known for colonization. That's what they've done around the world for the last 1,000 years. So
they colonized already white people?
Yeah, sure. You think white folks have never colonized other white people? Of course they have.
Here's a better question. How does this benefit America as getting a hold of Greenland?
Okay.
Even with their resources, even whatever little bit of resources they have.
Okay, I'll answer that for you. Do you think if Trump were to acquire Greenland, that he would not immediately make that a state?
And how does that benefit the economy?
Okay. DC and Puerto Rico are not states. They will not give them statehood, right? If you bring them in and you benefit their economy, he's going to try to coerce them into being a Republican state, which means we're only almost every election now, we're like one set of senators away from power being swung. So that's the reason why you have this whole situation with DC for years talking about taxation without representation, because you're getting taxed like you have some control. There are no senators for the city of DC. There are no senators for Puerto Rico, right? But you're still taxed the same way. So you don't have the representation. So if they get control of Greenland, which if they have, I'm not at this point, I'm not surprised anything happens. But
Here's
that
the
would be
thing.
another state that they would be able to fight over.
That's an educated reason why. I really don't think that's his reason why.
That is the
Just
reason why.
like his reason for wanting to make Gaza a resort town. Is it because it's going to be this amazing moneymaker for the U.S.?
Yes, it will. Yeah. If that would ever happen, that is a complete world war that would happen over there if they would try to take that and try to gain control of Gaza.
No, absolutely. I think I think Greenland actually might defend itself and be like, Denmark might actually have some pushback. Do they have a real big army over there in the Denmark? I don't know. I don't think so. Don't know, because Denmark's never had to fight for anything, so nobody knows.
But you think that the Europeans are going to allow us just to go over there and just take over? Once again,
No.
I joke about it, you joke about it, but that is a nation of white folk. You think that they just going to let America go over to another Anglo country and just say, here, now you're mine?
Yeah.
No, it's going to be a conversation, a real big
The
conversation.
next thing that caused a lot of issue at his joint speech, and we're not going to go too deep into this because there's a lot of ins and outs to this, but this is, I feel like, where Democrats, and I know Miguel would agree with me, where Democrats failed during the election, is the whole transgender issue, men in sports. Democrats really rode hard for this and tried to really make it a huge, not a huge part, it accidentally became a huge part of their messaging. A lot of Americans really don't care like that. At least a lot of Democrats really don't care that much about this issue. But Trump calls for Congress to pass a bill banning and criminalizing sex changes on children. Keep in mind, legally, no child can get a sex change. It is not legal in the United States. It is not ever done. They are not allowed to get a sex change. They are allowed to take hormone treatments, which are reversible. And that's it. There is no sex changes on children. And he calls it the big lie and protecting our children. But he also said something about protecting women and girls and keeping boys out of sports. So I did my own research. Took a little bit of time. I did my own research.
Mm-hmm.
Across all primary schools across the United States, there are 50 children who play sports who identify as transgender. That's boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
In the collegiate system, there are 10 collegiate athletes who identify as transgender boy and girls. Mm-hmm. We're doing all of this hooping and hollering and fighting and protect our girls over 60 people, which I think is ridiculous. Even worse, if you really want to protect women and girls, why aren't we removing the statute of limitations for sex crimes? That protects women and girls. Why aren't we doing that?
This isn't about women and girls. This is about politics.
No, I know that, but again, if it is about politics, but people keep falling for this, and people keep making like, oh, Trump hates trans, and Democrats only want to worry about trans people, when neither of these things are true.
Right.
It's just the issue that gets the most attention because it triggers people, and they get on social media. And
there are people like me that will wish this conversation would be a conversation between the people who really care about what's going on. I don't care about this. Now, when I start caring is when someone has been physically assaulted, when people are being attacked, regardless of the ideology or regardless of. But when you start talking about this being a political football that is just passed around, and it's one that the Democrats really just like, the Republicans know the Democrats don't want to have this conversation, because you have a large, like you said, if you're talking about trans people, which are less than 1% of our population. Less than 1% of our population. Most Democrats don't want to talk about this.
No.
Most Democrats don't have an opinion about this. They're forced to get into a conversation about this.
Don't want us talking about them. There's a lot of trans people who are like, I have no idea how we became this much of a conversation. I really don't. All we trying to do is be over here and live. Let us change our names on our passports. Let us change our licenses. We're cool. Mm-hmm. And I think what really messed people up is when I think this is a liberal white women thing. You know how I feel about liberal white women. They're not my friends. And they started adding all these extra words and stuff, like a parent who chest feeds or a parent who gives birth, trying to make birthing words gender neutral. that's when I think people started to really get it. Why are you making that face like I'm making it up?
I'm not saying you're making it up. I'm trying to process everything you just said, because when you start getting into say what you said again, because I'm trying to follow it.
So they have made words when it comes to women and trans men who were born women. They're changing the verbiage. So instead of saying you breastfeed, they're saying you chest feed. Because, if you're a woman who turns into a man and you keep all of your organs and you get pregnant, you're not breastfeeding, you're chest feeding. I hate it too. I think it's stupid. If you kept all of your equipment to have a baby, you're still a woman. I don't care what you say. You can magically call yourself whatever you want, but you kept that equipment for a reason because you want to do the one thing that makes you a woman, which is giving birth. So that, again, we can't go into all this. Let me find the
All right.
next topic.
I want to change the subject. While you find, I'm gonna take over the topic for a second. Because
Okay.
I just saw something that this is a conversation that's going on right now. Dwayne Wiggins and Tony, 64 years old, passed away, bladder cancer,
Talk
and
about
part
this
of the
app.
conversation. Say again.
So we were going to talk about this app right after this, but you go ahead and finish this.
All right. So in addition to him passing away, Angie Stone, we lost Angie Stone before last week's show. Someone,
Yeah.
DJ J Finesse, what's up to all the finesses out there? We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. He just posted something that I had to go. Okay, in 2025, it is just March the 10th. We've lost Roberta Flack, Angie Stone, Dwayne Wiggins, Roy Ayers, Chris Jasper, Gwen McCrae, Jerry Butler, Valletta Wallace, Irv Gotti, Groove from Groove Be Chill, Gene Allen, Barry Michael Cooper from New Jack City, Sugar Hill, Sam from Sam and Dave, all in this first. Now I know a lot of those. You're like, who are those people?
Gene Hackman. We lost Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman as well. Some folks are just saying, man, I'm good on this. I'm out. Now, obviously, some of the folk, Angie Stone was a car accident. Dwayne Wiggins was cancer. And I'm not sure about Roberta Flack, Valletta Wallace, Biggie's mom. But this has been a rough start to
Gene
this
Hackman,
year.
he died under insane circumstances. His wife died of hot virus or something like that.
Yeah.
And then because he didn't know what to do, he died a week later of heart failure, basically a broken heart.
Well, he was also 95 years old, right? So
yes, he was old. So God had one hand on his shoulder.
Yeah, but the way that his wife passed away, was really sad, and the fact that if he had to sit there for a week, after she had passed away, and they said it was about a week later when he probably
with no help, and that could have been what it was. He had no help because he's 95.
Yeah, 95 years old. Wife, and it was something about. They said it was a rodent may have bitten or got a disease from a rodent or something. It was something happened. So I don't know. It's just been a rough year, man. Emotionally, I think a lot of folks are really dealing with a lot right now. And it's just and just we look at where our life is. I posted something last week. You remember last week during our conversation, and before I switch gears, you know how I switch gears. Anything else on the death, folk? R.I.P. to everybody. And before Dwayne Wiggins bothered me because he was just. I hate it when people like they just seem like they're just so cool. Like the fact I never saw Tony in concert. Now I'm just like, man, wow. Because I see videos and stuff people are sharing now that's just like, wow, this dude was really dope. There's songs he sung lead on. I didn't realize he sung lead on. I think about Tony, I only think about Raphael Sadiq. But Dwayne Wiggins is so lead on a lot. Go ahead. When Chadwick died. It's like when Chadwick died, when Dwayne Wiggins, when Phife Dawg died. These are people that you sit back and just like, oh man, not them. Like you wanted to see them 80 years old smoking a cigar and just chilling out, and everybody reminiscing about how dope. When Dave from De La Soul, I got my De La Soul shirt on today. When Dave from De La Soul passed, it just
Heavy D still gets me to this day.
Heavy D is another one, and that's a whole different conversation because I watched that Diddy, one of the many Diddy documentaries out there right now, and I'll Be Sure said that the people who started Uptown were, Andre Harrell, Heavy D, I'll Be Sure, Puffy, and Kim. What's her name?
Porter.
Kim Porter. Kim worked at Uptown. Heavy's gone. I'll Be Sure was almost, and that's why I'll Be Sure is in the midst of another.
Where is Andre Harrell?
Andre Harrell passed away about 4 or 5 years ago.
Of Diddy? Did he pass away from Diddy?
I want to say they said he had a heart attack, I think, but But you think about it, like Kim Porter died of pneumonia,
Yes.
as did Heavy D, passed away from pneumonia. And Andre Harrell also was kind of like, he was in his early 60s, if that, and
He
the
wasn't
late
even in
50s.
his early 50s.
I want to say, I'm about to say he might have been late 50s, early 60s. Andre Harrell passed away. I think he had a heart attack.
See, we about to go conspiracy, and it's gonna go left, and we can't do that.
Well, here's it. You know, it's so crazy because I think back now when the whole situation with Biggie and Tupac, and we were so worried about Suge. And the more we got to hearing about this stuff about Diddy, you was just like, man, this dude sounded like he was more treacherous than we realized.
Did you watch the doc?
Which one? I watched the one that was on Peacock. The one that has Al B. Sure in it. I don't know if it's more.
Watch the one on Max. The one on Peacock is peanuts compared to the one on Max. That's the one me and my mother-in-law and my husband watched. I had to turn it off. I was like, no, I'm good. That's too much. That's too much.
There was one that Trey was watching that was a series. It was a series. I don't know.
Yes, that's the one that I watched. The series.
Okay, I was enough. The 2 hours that I watched was enough for me. I was just like, this is, Diddy. Okay, yeah. All right. So, all right, we done went around the bend. Where are we coming back to? Come
on. Let me see if there's one more thing that really kind of caught people off guard. I can just say it caught everybody off guard. I am not a fan of what Trump is doing with all the tariffs. Now we're having a tariff war with China, a tariff war with Mexico, a tariff war with Canada. We are having a back and forth with all these countries. We are having people fired left, right, and sideways. Hey, you're gonna lie on your taxes. This is the year to do it, because they're firing more and more IRS agents. They are. But they are. They're getting ready to fire another round.
We are in something. You know, there was some equipment I bought for the business about maybe 2 or 3 weeks before Trump became president. And you know how you go back on Amazon and you can look and see, you know, stuff you previously bought or whatever. Yeah. And you click on it and it's $150 more than it was 6 weeks ago. And I was like, wow. And so this is where, so here's the thing, guys. You better, if there's some stuff you've been eyeing that you need for your business, or some stuff that you got a little bit of squirreled away and you want to get it, and if it's coming from overseas, you better get it now, because these prices are going up. They're going up. So, what's up with the wig? What are we doing with the wig? What?
I buy my hair from overseas. So that's where I buy my wigs. And honestly, this one and the other one I bought, I would end up giving to one of my friends, is the last wig I'll be purchasing, because they're about to, like you said, about to go up. All you guys, people who love to shop on Temu, you love Shein, expect a good $5 to $7 increase on your little cheapo products. You know, every time
one of them Temu ads pop up on my phone, and the first thing if I ever click on it and that little spin wheel comes up, I immediately exit. I say, nope, feel like spam, feel like somebody about to steal my information. I'm done. I can't make it past that.
I've shopped on Temu one time. I bought a rice dispenser. Best thing I've ever bought in my life. I love that rice dispenser so much. It's a cheapo plastic thing where the rice comes out the bottom.
Yeah, we got one of those. Yeah, we got one of those. See, that's how you know you got a West Indian husband, and then my wife country. So, you know, rice and everything. Rice with everything. Yeah. So no, I like that thing. It's pretty cool. So, all right. So we have not talked about this Stephen A. Smith situation with LeBron.
Let's go.
Let's get into this. So I'm going to play a little bit of I'm gonna pull this up on my screen here. So for people who don't know what happened, LeBron James approached Stephen A. Smith last week. It was the Knicks versus the Lakers. They were I think they were in LA, I believe. These are some clips from the conversation. And he basically walked up on Stephen A. Smith and said, this is I'm tired of it. Basically, we're lip syncing. So for people who don't know, LeBron James' son, for the few, Bronny James, plays for the Lakers, drafted by the Lakers. People been talking about him for the last 4, 5, 6 months because he doesn't play a lot, just like most 55th pick players don't play a lot. And so LeBron, I don't know if it's the first time he's seen Stephen A. since it started, but he wouldn't shut it down. And so Stephen A. Smith had this to say. This is the conversation Stephen A. Smith had to say.
Slighting his son. Now let me tell you what I feel. What I would have said if we were in a different environment, because I was not going to engage in a confrontation at that particular moment in that setting. But if we had that conversation, I would have said to LeBron James, I never would speak negatively about your son. I was talking about you, meaning you, LeBron James. I have nothing but the best wishes for Bronny James. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope that he flourishes into an NBA star. Usually in other sports we see all-stars, and on occasion we'll see their children become stars as well. That doesn't really happen with the NBA. I sincerely hope he's the exception. By all accounts, he's a wonderful kid. And I don't know anybody who roots against him, and it certainly isn't me.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it there because first of all, that's he done talked so much crap about Bronny James and his ability, and he needs to how LeBron needs to stop. You know, what is he putting his son through? And so it's
I agree
annoying.
with that.
Why? Go ahead. I'm gonna let you jump in. Go ahead.
The reason why I agree with that is because LeBron James is one of the greatest basketball players to ever do it. We all know this. One of. I'm not saying he's one of. What else was his son supposed to do? And mind you, Michael Jordan's sons got pushed into the same dumb, follow my footsteps, go play basketball here, and they were not good at all. Those two boys were very bad at basketball, and Bronny is, of course, better than them. But I feel like, and a lot of people feel like, you are pushing this boy to follow in your footsteps. Is that really what he wants to do? He's not bad at it, but he doesn't seem like he has a real passion for it from the way that he plays. It doesn't seem like he really want to be there.
No,
of course,
that's
you
not true.
disagree, but it doesn't seem like he really wants to do it.
It's been a half a season. We're a little past half a season. We're now in March. He is playing. He's averaging 20-some points a game.
But
in
this
the
isn't
junior.
like football. Don't do that.
What?
And after
What am I
like
not
half
doing? What am I not doing?
Please, half a season is not just like football season where, okay, we've only done like 10 or 9 games. Like it's only a game every Sunday. How many games have they played at this point in the season?
I don't, 40, 50, it's over half the games.
That's a lot. That's a lot of games.
When you start talking about, and I meant to pull this earlier, I didn't get a chance to pull it. I'm actually trying to get our little chatty friend over here to pull it up for me. I would venture a guess that 30% of the players who are on contract in the NBA don't play more than play less than 5 minutes a game. Meaning that there's a whole lot of players that sit on the end of the bench on every NBA team that are playing as much or less than Bronny James Jr., LeBron James Jr. That's the NBA. That's the NFL. That's sports, right? You can't have a practice and not have, practice players, which a lot of the guys on the end of the bench are. Andre just posted something which is also part of the thing. He's less than 2 years away from recovering from a heart issue.
And
but here's the thing.
Never gotten back on the court after that heart issue.
But here's the thing. He's averaging over 20 points a game in the G League. So he's playing well in the G League. Yeah. And the people who are on the end of the bench of most teams, that's why they have what they call two-way contracts now. There are two-way contracts in the NBA of players who are on the end of the bench that play very little NBA game. They play down to the G League, and that's where they're getting their reps, right? He's not getting paid more than anybody else in that range. Everybody in that 52 to 57 range are getting the exact same money. He's getting about $7 million a year, right? There's, the whole thing about when it was a story at the beginning of the season. Okay, how to me, why I understand LeBron's position is how long are you gonna beat this dead horse? It's been 6 months, and you guys are still talking about Bronny James not playing. It's tired.
Okay, 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
Being awesome in the G League is like being the hot girl among your fat, ugly friends. It's like, of course you're going to be like the hot girl when everybody else weighs 300 pounds and got moles on their faces. Of course you're going to be the hot one. That's how that works. So, of course, he's great down there. But when he gets into the regular league, I'm not saying he's awful. I am saying he's not the greatest. He's not good. He's not good. But what I will say, wait, before you jump down my throat, because you knew this was going here, what I will say is people are paying way too much attention to him. It's the dumbest thing ever. Stephen A. Smith, all of you ESPN pundits, and I know why you're doing that. You guys have to make the NBA entertaining. people are curious about Bronny because he's LeBron's son. That's the only reason why you guys are trying to bring eyes in, because this season of basketball, these crop of MFers y'all bought from the draft are all awful. None of them are good. Tell me I'm wrong. There's like 4 of them that's good. None of this is exciting like it used to be. It is nowhere near how when the women's NBA draft came out, everybody was like, ooh, this is about to be lit. And it was absolutely lit this season of WNBA for the first time ever. But this year in the NBA, is it lit? We're only talking about 2 teams, the Golden State Warriors, maybe the Knicks, and the Lakers. Aren't there like 30 other teams that people should be talking about right now, some of who are doing very well?
Oklahoma City is 10 games up on the Lakers in first place in the West. Boston Celtics are the champions.
Are they talking about this?
Sure we are. It's the game is not the attention game is not the same as it was. Are the casuals all into the NBA right now? No, the casuals are not in. But that's kind of where that you are a casual. Yes, you're absolutely a casual. For us who actually watch the game, we know what's going on. And so once you get to the playoff time, April through June, for them 2.5 months, it'll be all about the NBA, and that's fine.
And there's another part of this that I hate to interrupt you. The other part when you talk about is how inappropriate it is, though, for LeBron to do this. I get it.
Why is that inappropriate? Yeah, go ahead.
Are you kidding me?
I am absolutely not kidding you.
So if you and your daughter work at the same marketing firm, and there's another person or a client who is unhappy with your daughter's work and was repeatedly been like to the higher ups, like, yo, this is not working out. She's not doing good. I'm not sure what we're going to do. You as her coworker and father are going to walk up to the other person and be like, why are you talking about my daughter like that?
Let's follow your analogy, because let's follow your analogy. Yes, LeBron James and Bronny James work for the same company. True.
Yes.
Stephen A. Smith is not a client of the NBA. Stephen A. Smith is a part of the machine of the NBA. And so what LeBron James has seen for the last 20 plus years of his life, he's heard people talk so much crap about him and his game and where he played and all of this. And LeBron, pretty much for the most part, he just takes them blows and keeps it moving. Now in year 22, with his kids sitting there next to him, who's trying to build his career, for the most part, for the last 6 months, he just sat back and let it rock.
He should have kept shutting up.
Why? We're at a point now. We're getting back to this attention economy. We had the same conversation about the people in the Congress and why they. People are at the point now that shutting up and saying nothing is not producing results. It's not producing fruit. So LeBron said, "I'm not gonna have this conversation. I'm not gonna call you on the phone. I'm gonna get the game with the 2 biggest markets that I knew you was gonna be sitting right here, the Los Angeles Lakers versus the New York Knicks. And I'm going to break my 6'9" behind. I'm going to walk up to your face and said, enough. No,
it's whack.
Yeah. Well, it's done.
It's some crybaby crap. And the reason why I think it's crybaby is because your son is about to be a grown man in this league, and you will not always be able to protect him. You cannot fight his battles for him. If we're really talking about Bronny being on the court, it is on him to walk, if he could. I don't know where he what.
This is crybaby crap right here.
He's wearing a pink suit.
Him in his pink suit. This is crybaby crap right here. You upset because LeBron ran up on you. You know, you upset because LeBron told you.
And
shut your
mouth. I don't know anybody who roots against him. It certainly isn't me.
Oh, it's back to that lie. Okay. And I didn't have time, and we'll find it. There's plenty of video of him trashing Bronny James. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I still don't think it is appropriate for a father. It makes Bronny look like he needs his father for every GD thing. It already looked like that. Now it looks even worse. I can only get this far because of my dad. Everybody already believes I'm only here because of my dad. Now my dad is fighting my battles. Are you really thought that's a good idea with what Bronny's already having to deal with at being a Nepo baby? You think his father checking another man about him makes that better?
You're misconstruing my argument. My argument is that enough. Stephen A. Smith, you've been talking about this kid who has very little opportunity. If he cared about Bronny James' performance and his ability, then cover what he's doing in the G League. right? Cover that and tell me if he's averaging 20-something points a game in the G League that he's trash. It's not
And
true.
I agree with that.
So my thing is, talk about his success and how he's progressing at that level as a 19, 20-year-old kid. Instead of every chance you get, you talking about how he's taking up space on the bench. It should be somebody else's job. Why should it be somebody else's job? The bottom 30% of the league, of the guys on those benches in the NBA, none of them play. They're all practice players.
No,
We
they're
can't
all,
name 99% of them. But guess the difference between those 30% and Bronny James? There's people in those stands that's wearing Bronny James jerseys.
there are.
There's people who are there to see him, even if he's sitting on the bench and seeing an interaction with his dad.
Here's the other issue I have with this, and then we
Mm-hmm.
can wrap it up. I want LeBron James Jr. I don't like Bronny. Again, we're infantilizing this 19, 20-year-old man. We're calling him Bronny. We're not calling him LeBron Jr. His dad is fighting his battles for him. He's already a Nepo baby. It's time for him to grow. Why isn't he allowed to do interviews? Why isn't he allowed to do interviews?
Why do you think he's not allowed to do interviews? Why do you
Because he
think he's
hasn't
not
done
allowed to do interviews?
The last time he's done an
He may
interview was
not
in
do
Florida.
interviews. It doesn't mean he. Here's the thing. I would venture a guess that, and I would love you. It's funny because Keith Reed, he posted something about it and he doesn't like it either. But anybody who's been in a locker room, it's a requirement for players to do interviews. Now, whether or not they chose, and whether or not they choose to go to Bronny James's cubicle or his locker to do an interview with him, that's up to the reporters. But everybody has to make themselves available or they get fined. At least I know that's the way it is in the NFL.
No. I know that's the way it is, but I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is, why hasn't he done, with the power of his parents, again, whatever, Nepo baby, whatever, but the power of his parents, why hasn't he done a real interview, like a morning show interview? That's what I'm trying to say. A morning show
There's
interview.
no fruit there.
There is fruit there.
There's no fruit there. There's absolutely no fruit. There's no. He already is benefiting. If for all that, why did Savannah never do interviews? In all these years that Savannah James has been, she does very few interviews. It's not like she's a regular out in front of the public.
She's not. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying for LeBron to do a whole press tour across every morning show in America. But he needs to do a strategic interview where he can address some of the real things and have these people the way they do real pieces.
So tell me what it is. Tell me what it is you think Bronny needs to address.
The comments about him being an Nepo baby. He does. It needs to be addressed from his perspective. It absolutely does. And again, this is me thinking from my PR brain. It needs to be addressed from his perspective. Following him at practice, everything he does, how they do a highlight reel of how good he's doing in the G League. Mm-hmm. And then he can address the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, and he can kind of just laugh it off or do it however he feels best, where his voice can be heard and people not seeing him under his parents' umbrella, that he is a standalone person who just happens to be, who did a really great job of this? Mm-hmm. Who did a fantastic job at this? John David Washington. John David Washington did a fantastic job at this. It is not basketball, but it's damn near the same thing. When your father is a powerhouse actor and you are also an actor, and John David Washington has found a way to stand alone without his dad. Half the time, we don't remember that Denzel's son.
What half a time is that? Come on. What half a time do we not know that John David Washington is Denzel's son? He sounds like Denzel, looks like his mama.
When he did the football TV show, didn't nobody know that was Denzel's dad, Denzel's son?
Yeah, they did. 8 million followers. 8 million followers on IG.
But anyway, but do you get what I'm trying to say when it comes to these kind of
I get it, but I don't agree. I don't see that there's no fruit, because here's the thing. He is a Nepo baby. We absolutely know his father is worth $300 or $400 million. So he's definitely.
Which child are we talking about?
LeBron James. David?
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
No. But I'm saying he is. So everything you said, the reason why he should do these interviews, he's going to address the fact he's a Nepo baby, that his father is wealthy. We know that his father is one of the top 3 to 5 greatest basketball players in the history of basketball. Period. Point blank. No end of discussion. So. There's no fruit there. That's the thing about it. And I'm real big in that. You hear me say it often. sometimes it's not even work. It's better to just let it lie. And to that point, people say, well, LeBron is fighting his battles. Well, sure. Okay. If that's what y'all want to say, LeBron James is fighting his son's battle, then God bless. Because when it's all said and done, it would be more confrontational, be more controversial for Bronny to come out and do this big old 60 minutes interview about why he shouldn't be been drafted in the NBA. It then put more pressure on himself. He doesn't need any more pressure on himself. His father will be in the league probably another 2 to 3 years. And then whatever happens will happen. You know, I look at Scottie Pippen Jr.'s son is in the league right now. You know, you've got Doc Rivers' sons that have been in the league. You gotta, you know, we're at that generation now. People that I watched up follow and I watch, and most of them, you know, Doc Rivers' sons, I think they've had some pretty long careers.
Not to be funny, is the only big failure Michael Jordan's son, Marcus?
Yeah, his two sons. Yeah, they weren't. They didn't get a cup of coffee in the league. One of them played at University of Central Florida.
Yes.
One played at UCF. I don't know if the other one played or when he played, but neither one of them were as tall as it is.
Bench warmer at UNC.
Okay. So
and that was it. And now one of them is a total crackhead who just got arrested here in Winter Park, a couple miles from my house, because he drove on a train track drunk and high.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, you know. So anyway, yeah, you know, I was really, you know, Carmelo's son is on the way. Gilbert Arenas' son is on the way. Both, and Gilbert Arenas' son is very good. He plays just like his dad, very selfish with the ball. His dad teaches him to be that way. Gilbert Arenas' daughter is also a freshman in high school, and she's incredible. So you know, it's a lot of them that are coming up. Nobody, you know, you think about some of the greatest ever. Jordan's sons have passed. They're gone. There's nothing that's going to happen there as far as basketball goes. Kobe doesn't have any. Kobe doesn't have any sons, so he had daughters, and the one
daughter who played
passed away. So when you look at this generation of ball players, nobody's kid is going to have the pressure to perform. Like, you know, I think Dwayne Wade's son, one of his sons, I think he's still playing, or maybe Dwayne Wade's son, I think, is playing as well. Marcus played at UCF, Jeffrey at Illinois. Okay, got it. But
crap school for two crap players. Yeah.
Oh Jesus. And so, you know, as I look at this stuff, you know, it is what it is. If Bronny gets 5 years in the league, and if he gets 10 years in the league as a role player, great defensive player, 6'4", combo guard, God bless. I mean, you know, it's a lot of cats who get that type of time and make 10 years of money, 12 years of money playing in the NBA because of that. All right, let's move on.
Can we go? We only have a little bit more time. Can we go into what?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we are going to talk about DDG and Halle Bailey. For those of you all who are
screen. Am I going to your screen?
We're gonna I didn't get a chance.
So you got to tell everybody. You assuming everybody know who DDG is and who Halle, whatever.
So Halle Bailey is the actress. We also know her as the Little Mermaid, and she had a baby with DDG. They hid their pregnancy while they had it, and then they had the baby, and then they ceased to be in a relationship. Well, late in what we all did not realize, I didn't know this boy was famous for being a YouTuber, but he's a YouTuber. He is constantly online. He's also an artist. Mm-hmm. Well, he got his butt on Beyonce's internet and decided to tell the world that Halle Bailey is keeping the baby from him. So if you want to share my screen, we'll go ahead and play a little bit of his, whatever this is. Nope.
Yeah, hit your volume. Is your volume up? I can't hear you. Hold on a second. Let me see.
Is the output right?
Is there an option on your screen to click volume? If not, send a link to me and I'll pull it up.
Here, I'll just send it to you.
Okay, put it in the chat.
You're gonna start playing it at 42 seconds.
Okay. Did you put it in the chat?
But I'll keep going. So yeah, he has kind of been a little bit.
Put it in chat. I don't have it.
Oh, sorry. I didn't press send. You have it now.
Okay.
He has been a little bit problematic, and I think when she first got with him, a lot of people were surprised because he is a YouTuber and she is part of the Halle and Chloe and Halle group, founded by Beyonce. She's an actress. They're so cute and so wholesome, and then she got with a YouTuber and became a baby's mama. And if you've listened to Life with Sugar Radio, me and Miguel are very much against baby mama culture. We've always been against it. Baby daddy culture, we're not fans of it. So we'll get into why this is so bad, but Miguel's going to pull it up and we're going to watch how he talks about this situation.
Word thrown around like this. I don't give a fuck if this make me seem childish. I just want to be able to see my son when I want to see my son, take my son when I want to take my son. Like, I don't care if this make me look childish. If I look like I'm on the internet crazy, whatever the I don't care, bro. Like, I don't care what nobody thinks. I literally just want to be in my son's life.
Yeah. So finish giving us some backstory on this thing. So the baby is only a year old, right?
Exactly a year old. So the baby is exactly a year old, and he's saying that he hasn't seen the baby in 2 months, but people were saying in his social media that we just saw the baby on your YouTube channel recently, like within the last 5 weeks, we've seen the baby on the YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Well, the other thing that he neglected to really point out in his YouTube video was that the baby is sick. Not kind of sick, not a little sick. The baby has RSV. And for those of you guys who are not familiar with RSV, it's a severe respiratory infection that's really bad for children. And Haley also got it. So they're kind of on quarantine while she gets better, while she's also getting the baby better and trying to, take care of him. And he is not allowed in the house. According to him, he went to the house to go pick up the baby and then was kicked out. I wasn't there. I don't know. He also made another comment that I thought was a little suspect, was he lives super far away and she doesn't want to bring the baby to me. She always wants me to go pick the baby up. Well, welcome to the world of being a dad. You won't come get this baby. I'm not wasting my gas money. You want to come get him, come pick him up and whatever. How when she wants to go out of town with him, he's not informed and he's only allowed to get the baby for 48 hours. And he has all these issues. And my response is, you're the baby's daddy. This is what you chose. You ended your relationship, and he says in the video that he ended the relationship, that it just wasn't good. We have been together for a while. Fine. You two ended the relationship. She's the primary parent. You're the secondary parent. He's like, well, I hate being called a secondary parent. That's what you are. You are the secondary parent. And he keeps saying he doesn't want to go to court because he doesn't want to hurt her, but you'll blast her on the internet instead of just going to the lawyers. And I know you have a unique perspective about this, just like my husband does too, because you guys are two fathers, not wealthy, who fought for your kids to be in your care. Take it away, Miguel.
So a few things, that always challenges me. And I'll go back based on what I remember of what you just said. The primary parent thing. That as a father who fought for a relationship with my daughter, I've always looked at it as being we're equals. Him separating from Chloe, him making a decision to separate from Chloe. Okay, I don't know why they separated. I don't know. She could be a hellion for all I know. Who knows?
True,
I don't know.
True. Fair.
So for his mental health, he might have said, okay, this relationship is not gonna last. So when it comes down to you can only see your kid for 48 hours and things of that nature, unless that's a court order, that's just her dictating to him the relationship he's going to have with his child. So all of those things are things that we just assume in our culture that the man has got to be wrong, the woman's got to be right. And that always challenges me because I know personally that it's not the case. And for those who are watching the show, this is me and my wife are perfect. We're fine. Not perfect. Nothing is perfect. I have 3 children. My oldest daughter has a different mother.
And for guys who don't know that I'm always talking about my 3 kids. My oldest is not my child. He is my husband's child, and his birth mother is not active because my husband has had full custody since Devin was 3 years old.
Yeah. So, so for fathers who step up and do everything they can. Now, I don't know this kid. I don't know anything about this guy, DDG. I don't know anything besides what Key has told me. But the things of primary parent and things of that nature, and you can only see the kid for 2 days, and I'm not bringing them to you. You got to come to me, and there's no compromise there. There has to be a compromise. You start talking about raising a child and co-parenting, because that's what they're doing now. They're not together, and they're co-parenting. And so because of that, they got to figure this thing out. And for a child to be a year old, for them to be dealing with this, they got a long time to be dealing with this. And to your point, dealing with this on the internet, to me, is not smart, because you bringing a lot of smoke to it. That's not going to make it even worse, and it's going to end up in court in the documents. Go ahead.
And that's my issue. Why are you coming to the internet? You say you don't want to hurt her. There's nothing wrong with you going to the court system. You're a wealthy black man with means. The court's not going to be like, oh, you're a bum, we're going to give her primary custody. They're going to look at you, see you have money, see that you have a desire to see your kid, and be like, yeah, 50-50 custody. You can't just take the baby off when you want. You got to go. They're going to dictate that.
It depends on the states. Depends on a lot of things. It depends on a lot of things, but go ahead.
When you're wealthy?
Yeah, I don't think the money matters. It depends on what judge you're standing in front of. It depends on what state you're in. I'm trying to think of, I think it was Anthony Edwards, who plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
That's different.
Hold on, but the point I'm making, yeah, right, exactly. He got his girl pregnant, and he told the girl he didn't want to have the baby. She said, I'm having this baby, and let him and his lawyers tell it. She got up and made sure she moved from Georgia to California, because the laws in California are much more beneficial to women in her situation. And here's the thing, bruh. I'm looking at it like, you made this baby. You need to make sure you take care of this baby. But at the same time, she got up. If she got up and left wherever she was from to go to California just so she can make sure she can get more money for that baby, there's something wrong with that as well.
But here's the other thing. Apparently, he plans on signing away all of his rights.
You talking about Anthony Edwards now?
Yes, he plans on signing away all of his rights.
Yeah.
And I think, and again, you're right about it. Some states are different, because some states, if you sign away your rights, you don't have to pay child support. That is not, you don't have to. Other states, like, you don't have to see the baby. You can sign your rights away, but you still have to pay a percentage of the
I'll
support.
be interested to see what states you can sign away your rights and you don't have to pay child support, because there's gonna be a whole lot of people moving to that state. I would double check to see if that's valid, because that would be, I don't know. Yeah.
That's the only thing I heard, that it varies from state to state when it comes to that, but you can, and you don't have to pay child support. Like, you won't have to. But I get what the point you're making. He can't go to the internet. I feel like he should go to court. I feel like they're both young and immature. And again, me and Miguel talk about this all the time. I don't understand why younger kids say, we're going to have a baby, but we're not ready to get married yet. What?
It's the culture. I was sitting there, and there was an interview that I recorded for another client. Anyway, the numbers are getting worse and worse for this next generation. They don't want to be married. This next generation, they have no desire. It's they said by the time the next generation, is something going to be as low as between 18 and 25% of them are going to get married. And that just, to me, is mind blowing, that you want to put yourself through this turmoil of having children and it being a business transaction. For the most part, it's something that you guys have to deal with a lot of smoke and a lot of issues, and it's wild to me. But all right, let's move on. We got a few minutes left. I want to sit up here. You wanted to talk about,
for the last few minutes of the show, you guys have watched Paradise. Have you watched it all the way through?
Yes, we finished it.
So we're only on episode.
I got to create a new graphic of what are we watching. I got to create a new graphic for that. But yes,
you do. We're only on episode 5. I don't know if you can talk about it without spoiling the ending. No, you can't talk about it without spoiling the ending. I can't do it. You're gonna do it. You're gonna spoil it for me, and I can't.
Okay.
No.
So what's the last thing? What's the last thing? You're on episode 5 now. What's going on right now?
He wrote that thing in the sky.
Okay.
And he cut his little Fitbit off.
He cut his little watch off. His little Apple Watch
Fitbit off. And the doctor found out that they're bugging her house. She's a little freaked out and terrified. So it is a well done show. I'm actually running into a lot of well done shows that me and Omar are kind of stunned by. I don't know. Do you guys have Apple TV?
We do.
Did you watch The Gorge?
Haven't watched that yet. We just finished 0 Day. We
Oh!
yeah. So we finished Paradise and we finished 0 Day. And then we picked up, we talked about this last week, Surface, I think it's called. The movie, I mean, the series with the woman, the light-skinned pretty girl with the African name.
Yes. And yeah, we said her name last week. I'm not saying it again. It's too much. It's a lot of effort.
It's too much work. I don't know why. I'm usually pretty good with that, but it's too much work. But it actually premiered a couple of years back. We watched the whole first season, and it just premiered the second season. We haven't started that one yet.
But I suggest you guys watch The Gorge. Me and Omar was surprised at how good it was. It's only 2 actors. There's like 4 actors in the whole film. It's one of those situations. But it covers all of your bases. Thriller, action, romance, horror. You would think, oh, they're just slamming stuff together. But it all makes sense. And it was all very, very good. We watched The Gorge. I actually sat through and watched Heretic, the horror movie about religion that's starring, what is his name? Hugh Grant, starring Hugh Grant in a horror role.
I don't do horror.
It's more of a thriller than it is horror. But again, another one of those like sleepers, as you were like, wow, that was actually really good. I'm so shocked.
It's called Heretics.
It's called Heretic. It's about
interesting.
It's about
I know what a heretic. I know what that it's based in religion and right. So the name of it is somewhat intriguing.
But the way he compares religion to the history of Monopoly, I was like, oh my God, that just made a whole lot of sense. I'm blown away right now just by you explaining Monopoly and the history of religion together and made sense. So that was really cool. And then we're watching The Pit. I am watching The Pit on HBO Max.
That's on Max. Okay. It's on Max. I'm looking at it on the screen. And what else did you just say you just watched?
I am watching The Pit. The Pit is probably the best medical drama to ever hit TV in the history of TV. It is a 10 out of 10 stars. Huh?
I said that's saying something.
There are doctors on YouTube who are literally, all the doctors now who are real doctors in real life are like, this is the best medical drama that actually looks like what we do in real life. This is the best. And it's very well written, and it's starring Noah Wiley from ER fame. So
The Pit. Well, no, this is not what I'm looking at because this says from 1981. So this can't be what you're talking about.
THE space PITT. 2 T's.
Oh, 2 T's. Oh.
Like Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay, and it's on Max as well. Max getting all your money.
I know. I'm about to get rid of Netflix. Hey, when's the last time you watched something good on Netflix?
Well, 0 Days on Netflix.
Oh, that's true. That's one show. Before 0 Day.
No, we watch some decent stuff on Netflix. It's all kind of cheesy, though. It's all kind of like borderline. Well, what was the joint we watched? We were talking about a few weeks ago with the fake FBI dude for the telephone down in the basement. What's the name of that show? The show with it started off with his whole job was just to answer the phone.
Oh, Night Agent.
Night Agent.
See, this is why you and I could never play Pictionary. I'd be like, what?
Right. So the other one, one of our ghetto shows has come back on.
Oh God.
Yeah, Kanan is back. Kanan is back, and Unique had to get bust upside the head with a pipe and roll down the hill onto the dirty mattress. He's back, and he's badder than ever with his revolver, ready to shoot somebody. So
stars keep trying. You're never gonna get me. You're not gonna fool me.
Let me tell you another reason why we watch all this daggum TV. Let me tell you about, before we get up out of here, what night was it? First of all, this past weekend was supposed to be a weekend of rest for me. It did not happen. My children and my family had me running around like an Uber driver. I was everywhere from Saturday morning until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock Saturday night. Saturday night, one of my middle baby's best friends had a birthday dinner at Juicy Crab. You got Juicy Crabs in Florida?
They do.
Okay. Is Juicy Crab in Florida like it is everywhere else? I
don't know. I have money. I don't go to restaurants like that.
You're so damn bougie. So anyway, as I'm about to tell this story. So I'm in here at Juicy Crab. We walk in that joint, and it's a karaoke night. First of all, we get there. It's pushing 9 o'clock. So, 9 o'clock, Juicy Crab in Clayton County, Georgia. We walk up in that joint and this DJ is playing everything. Now, mind you, it's kids everywhere. Kids absolutely everywhere. Not a radio version of a song in sight.
Ooh.
And so I'm talking about they walk around with the microphones, they singing, blah, 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 blah. We sit up and watch this stuff. So what ran us up out of there is this grandmama sitting over there with about 4 or 5 3 and 4 year olds as Sexy Red is playing and something about Shake That Ass Ho. Shake That Ass Ho was playing. And the mama is dancing and got the babies dancing around like it's Ring Around the Rosie. And they shake that ass, ho. Shake that ass, ho. Shake that. And I said, I'm too bougie for this, man. It's time to go. I'm out. You up in there, they got hookahs going on. As soon as you walk through the door, the whole is what. So I said it's better for me to stay in the house. It's better for me to stay in the house, watch a whole bunch of TV, and make some money and take care of my family.
The song is called "Looking for the Hose," so that's the name of the.
Is
song.
that the name of the song? So it wasn't. They weren't saying "looking for the hose." They were saying they weren't saying.
"Shake That Ass Ho" is actually a line, but the song is called "Looking for the Hose."
Looking for the hose. Okay.
And listen, y'all Atlanta restaurants, y'all gotta stop with the hookah. Y'all have got to stop with the hookah indoors. I can't do it. And my husband's a smoker. And
hookah and lemon pepper wings, man. That is Atlanta. That's Atlanta. Hookah and lemon pepper wings.
We were sitting at a very fine dining experience the other day, and just cigar smoke even wafted indoors. I was like, how dare you? How dare you, sir? You need to go to the other side of the parking lot. And a lot of the other people were like, oh my God, are they smoking in here?
Hey, man.
And then it turned 9 o'clock, and the clientele changed just like at the Juicy Crab. And I was like, nah, we got to go.
Atlanta's interesting, man. There's a reason why.
Do you know how weird that is at these restaurants now that go from restaurants to nightclubs? We had a very nice waiter with a button-up shirt on and a tie. It hit 9:30. All of a sudden, this broad comes back to my table bringing me my drink, and she had on go-go boots and a mini dress. And she didn't know what my drink was. She's like, "Oh, here's your Sprite." I'm like, "That's
not what I had." I got kicked out of. I got kicked out of Cam Newton's cigar bar one night because, on the reverse, because it's Cam Newton Cigar Bar is downtown. It's near the Mercedes Stadium. I never forget because there was a battle of the bands that was going on at the Mercedes Stadium. And so I went to that and I came over to his spot. I said, I'm not ready to go home yet. So I said, I'm going to smoke me a cigar. I'm going to hang out. I was having a ball. It was people there, friends, whatever. But I was coming from, I had my jeans on. I had my new varsity jacket on. I'm chilling. I got there, 2 hours in or whatever. I'm still, I done had me some wings, smoked me a couple of cigars. I'm chilling.
Kick it. I'm
kicking it. They came over to me and said, it's time to go. Excuse me? What? I said, I spent $150 over here by myself. And it was like, I'm sorry, sir. I understand that, but the crowd, it's changing now. You're not dressed appropriately for this crowd. I said, wow. So you need me to go home and get my Ferragamos, come back. I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go into the crib. But
great.
Huh? Oh no! Believe me, the way that Cam Newton dresses on his podcast. Now everybody's not that go as hard as him, but it flips. Huh?
He dresses like a magician. Why would anybody want to?
No, but I'm talking about the fedora, big hats, the fly hats, and everybody. That's the whole look and feel. And this was 3 or 4 years ago, but the ventilation in that place was absolutely atrocious back then in a cigar bar. But hey, everybody was looking fly. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all as always. We was all over the place today. It was fun. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Peace and a bye-bye.